In today's episode of my funny sleepy time, we're going to talk about why we yawn. You probably yawn quite often, especially when you're tired. But have you ever stopped to think about why? If you like fun cartoons with cool science experiments for kids, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our new episodes. So let's get started. Have you ever wondered why we yawn? You probably do it all the time, but have you ever really thought about it? Yawning is such an everyday thing for us that we don't stop to consider why we do it or what is happening in our bodies when we do. And if you're like me, you've probably found yourself yawning more than usual lately. That's because we yawn for two reasons: to help us get more oxygen or because we're getting sleepy. But there are even more interesting things about yawns. First off, they can be super satisfying. It feels good to stretch out your jaws and make a big show of air, right? Well, turns out that's not the only reason we enjoy them. There's actually some science behind that too. When we yawn, our bodies release chemicals that make us feel relaxed and alert at the same time. This helps us wake up and focus on whatever it is that we're doing. So next time you find yourself yawning in the middle of something, don't try to fight it. Embrace it and let that yawn energy fuel you to finish what you started. Have you ever noticed that one yawn can make you want to yawn again and again and again? Turns out there's a reason for that too. It's called contagious yawning. It happens because our brains are wired to copy the actions of others, especially when those actions are related to something that we are already doing. So if you see someone else yawning, your brain tells you, hey, that person is yawning. You're also yawning. Let's sync up. That way everyone stays on the same page. It's like a built-in alarm system that goes off whenever it's time for a break. Yawning is also a great way to let others know that you're feeling sleepy. It's like a universal sign that says, hey, I need a nap. It can also help prevent accidents from happening. For example, if you're driving and start feeling tired, a yawn is a good reminder to pull over and rest before you cause an accident. So instead of fighting your yawns, embrace them and use them to help keep you safe on the road. Okay, so now that we know why we yawn and why yawns can be contagious, it's time to learn how our body tells us it's sleepy time. The first sign that it's time for bed is, you guessed it, yawns. As we talked about earlier, yawns are our body's way of saying, hey, I need some sleep. It's important to listen to our body's cues and go to sleep when we're tired. That way we can wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day. Another sign that it's time for bed is when we start feeling grumpy. Being awake for too long can make anyone grumpy, even the grumpiest of them all, more grumpy pants. That's why it's important to get enough sleep every night. When we're well rested, we're better able to handle the ups and downs of life without getting grumpy. The third sign that it's time for bed is when we start getting fidgety. Our bodies get all wiggly when we're tired and it's hard to sit still. This is because our brains are trying to stay awake, but our bodies are starting to get droopy. The best thing to do when this happens is to get up and move around a little bit. That way we can burn off some energy and get ready for bed. The fourth sign that it's time for bed is when our eyes start getting droopy when we're tired. Our eyelids get heavy and it's hard to keep them open. This is because our bodies are telling us that it's time to rest. So instead of fighting our eyelids, we should close our eyes and relax. The fifth sign that it's time for bed is when our heads start bobbing. When we're tired, we may start nodding off to sleep while standing up. This can be dangerous, so it's important to find somewhere safe to rest our heads. We could sit down on a chair or couch, or if we're outside, we can find a shady spot to lie down. And finally, the last sign that it's time for bed is when our breathing starts getting louder. When we're tired, our breathing becomes more rapid and louder. This is because our bodies are working overtime to get us the oxygen we need to stay awake. However, this can be a problem if we're trying to sleep. So it is important to find a quiet place to rest so that we can breathe calmly and peacefully. These are just a few of the signs that our body gives us when it's sleepy. It's important to pay attention to these signs so that we can get the rest we need. When we're well rested, we're better able to focus on our tasks and make better decisions. So next time you feel sleepy, don't fight it. Embrace it and get some much needed rest. In the end, being sleepy isn't anything to be ashamed of. It's just our body's way of telling us that we need some rest. So the next time you feel a yawn coming on, don't fight it. Just let it happen and enjoy the feeling of pure relaxation that comes with it. Plus, who knows? Maybe you'll even learn something new about yourself and your body while you're at it. Alright, sleepyheads, it's time for bed. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my funny sleepy time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun cartoons with cool science experiments for kids. And now it's time for you to go to sleep. I'll see you next time for another fun adventure. Sweet dreams. It's time for bed. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my funny sleepy time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun cartoons with cool science experiments for kids. And now it's time for you to go to sleep. I'll see you next time for another fun adventure. Sweet dreams. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far, and I want to give you a big thank you for all of your support. If you want to keep watching, just click on the video on screen now.